This is Zichru Daf Simanim Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph in Baba Basra. Now, Kuf Ayin Aleph, as you start to say chaos. Chaos. As you see, this is quite the messy picture. It's chaos. It's a messy office. So, in this messy office, this chaotic Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph messy office, first thing we notice is this calendar on the wall with a date sticking out. It's a date of Yom Kippur. And a star in which the date is dated for Yom Kippur clearly was not written on Yom Kippur. And that's going to be a star Ma'ocher, a date, a star of Shabbos or Yom Kippur. It's going to be a star Ma'ocher, point number one. Number two is going to be that when you write a shiver, you see over here, he says, I can't find the star. The Sefer will write a receipt you paid in full. You can't find the star. You're writing a shiver in full. And the reason you're writing the receipt is because they can't find the star. And number three is going to be that what date does the Sefer over here put in the star? He doesn't know. And therefore, if he doesn't know, he's going to leave the Sefer undated. So we have this chaotic, messy office, Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph. The messy office is buying, he's selling, there's coffee spilling. We have a Sefer working over here, there's garbage on the floor. And in this chaotic Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph, we have number one, a post-dated star, a star ma'ochar, the date falls on Shabbos. Number two, when you write a shiver in full, because you can't find the receipt. And number three, when you leave the date off the shiver. So we scroll up and we see these 3 points. Says the Gemara really. But point number one is when it corresponds to Shabbos Yantiv, we assume it to be a star ma'ochar. The star whose date falls on Shabbos Yantiv, so the date is clearly inaccurate. Says Rav Yehuda, star ma'ochar ho v'kasher. It's post-dated as kasher. Says Rav Yasi, it's possible. Yehuda says he himself once was mekayim such a star. Rav Yasi says the only reason was because it fell on Shabbos Yom Kippur. So asks the Gemara, Rav Yehuda was saying that case. And Rav Hadassah explains that if star is dated Shabbos Yom Kippur, then of course everyone agrees it's kasher. Why? Because then it's evident itself, it's pashit, that the date isn't real, and then it makes sense to say that it's a shtar ma'ocher. What is the machlokes? The machlokes of Yossi and Rav Yehuda is going to be b'shtar ma'ocher ba'alma, a stam post-dated shtar when there's no indication that it's post-dated. Rav Yehuda says we do not write a shayvar for a payment. The shtar is returned, and therefore shtar ma'ocher is going to be kosher. Why? Because it can't cause any harm. He says it's going to be puzzle. Why? Because we read a shiver, and therefore the post-dated document is allow you to collect a second time. Point number two is the time that you write a shiver for an entire debt. Again, just remember this chaotic case, Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph, this chaotic, messy office. When are you going to write a shiver for the entire debt? Rav Huna Breit Yeshua teaches, according to Rav Yasi, Hani Mili Apalga. That's when you don't write. That's when you write a receipt. Avala Kule Lai, we don't write a shiver. Why? So we can refuse to pay if the lender claims I've lost the shtar. Says the Gemara, no, we write a shiver even on the entire amount. As we see in the story of the Rav Abba and money to Rav Bar Yosef who lost the shtar, and still he wrote a shiver for the entire amount. Rav Abba wasn't happy. Rav Shmuel says we don't write a shtar. Rav Yitzchak replies, Rav Yechor Reish Lakish Rav Ilah Kulu, they all hold we do write a shiver. Says the Gemara, this is mistaver. Why? Because if not, the lender loses his shtar. What? The other one should go and rejoice that he lost his shtar. Abai says, what do you mean? What if you lose the shiver? Says Raiva of the Leiva Leishmalva, and therefore the Leiva, of course, is going to have the lower hand. And point number three is going to be that we justify the practice to validate the shtar ma'ochar. Despite writing the shiver, the shtar ma'ochar is only valid for a loan. Posting items of a sale are invalid. Why? Because you can sell something in Nisan right at the date of Tishrei. Later, you're going to buy back the land in Tishrei, and he's going to say the shtar, and you're going to say, oh, there's Vanta Minach, I bought it again. The same thing is going to be a post-dated loan document. If the borrower receives a shiver, lender says he lost the document. And Rav Huna says we do not write a shiver. Kana says nowadays, what do you mean we do write? He answers that we write explicitly that the shtar is post-dated. But Rav Hana says, what do you mean we don't do such? And he says we follow Rav Safra that they tell the Seifrim that if they know that the date is wrong, then they write a shiver. And if not, they leave it undated. And that was point number three over here, that when you don't know the date, that is when the Sefer leaves it undated. So Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph, this chaotic office, we learned point number one in the chaotic office was the date on the wall, that when we know for sure it's a shtar ma'ocher, we're for sure going to write a shiver. Number two, we're going to write a shiver on the entire amount and the different reasons we write a shiver. And number three, when we don't know the loan date, you're going to leave the shiver undated. Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph, this chaotic, messy office. The shiver, when the date falls on Shabbos, you can't find the shtar. And when you don't know the date, Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph.